Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. Sound is good now? It's fine? Well, the simplest way to look at the notion of Maya or Leela is just that it's a pretense. We have an ability to pretend that that which exists, that which is the existent one, is not here, and that we call the Maya. Because how would we be if that which exists was actually known to be existent? How would we be? Who is that existent? That in the light of whom the notion of me is nonsensical, is irrelevant. You see? But that which exists itself has given to itself this power to take that which doesn't exist, the irrelevant one, to be central. And in taking that to be central, that which is truly existent seems to be something that needs to be sought after. Absurd, isn't it? It's fully absurd. But without the pretending, without the pretense, it should become absolutely clear, absolutely apparent. You see? But because we've sort of got into a habit of getting into the pretense, so we want to be in the pretense and then return. You see, while holding some aspect of the pretense alive, and only give up that which is absolutely necessary to find that, because most of us have felt that without that it's not worth it. Most of us already believe that to some level. That's why you're in satsang. Absurd satsang like this is only because to some level you must be buying the idea that just the pretense is not worth it without that which is beyond the pretense. But something still remains unwilling to drop fully the pretense. So you're trying to hold on to whatever can be held on to while trying to get just try to get a hold of that which is prior or beyond all of this. See, that's what's happening. So the whole thing, the whole game is that of a pretense, a make-believe that we seem to be stuck in. We're stuck in this game where we take ourselves to be that which is non-existent, not even irrelevant, actually non-existent. But now, through the lens of the non-existent one, we want to find that which is truly existent. So just the denial of that reality is what this game of identification, game of Maya, game of Leela is. Because it is impossible to live like the way we live if we lived in the realization of that which actually is. It would just not be possible for us to spend a minute on me, if we drop the pretense and seen who's actually here. The one that is actually here is beyond any concept. The highest concept of great doesn't come close to scratching the surface when it comes to God's reality. Therefore, the only question then remains is, what are you unwilling to give up on? What can be worth holding on to? that can be greater than the one that is.
Father, can I say something? So, these past few weeks, it's seen more and more that what's coming up before, which was unwilling to trade for God, has been coming up and has been more clear. And you said to really fight for God, to really just, if there's effort, to make the effort to stay with God, like literally make the effort.
Yes.
And making that effort these past few weeks to really stay with God, it's like these things that we're unwilling to trade for God come up on their own, like without trying, like they just.
Okay, we'll go there in just a moment. Meet right now. You're making an effort to stay with whom?
God.
God. It's God. So, are we awestruck by that or no?
More and more, yes.
Because who are we staying with? We can stay with God. And you're right, I have said it's worth fighting for, it's worth fighting with all our might to stay with this. But I'm just pausing here for a moment because it's very difficult to gloss over this and say, but then this, whatever happens, then we'll go there, don't worry.
Yeah.
I realize that you may be feeling like, but I want to talk about that, what happens. But who are we staying with? What are we talking about? You see, how can we make it like part of a sentence? I'm staying with God, and I'm able to, but what also happened? What? You see, staying with God, the God. Yes.
Yes.
The God.
The one and only.
The one. You see, the one. So I'm staying with God.
Yeah.
Now, now,
You want me to continue?
one of my concerns is that I'll just spend this entire life talking about God, and my children actually don't meet God the way I meet God. So I don't want that to happen. I'm going to fight for that with all my might. I'm saying stay with God, and because the mind can also own that now, because in satsang we hear it so often. God, the self, and the mind can also go very quickly to, but I'm the self, no? Beyond even God. Hello, wait. Wait. So, this God is where?
It's here.
God that is here. Do we recognize it as it? Do we recognize God as God? All the marketing about God is actually underselling it. All that we've heard about God and all that everyone has ever spoken, because that which is spoken and written and understood can never come close to that which really is. Now, the God that we find, is it that or no?
I don't know if I see God in the way that you do yet, but
The God that we find, what can you say about it?
that it's not thought,
It's not thought.
and it's not sensation,
Yes.
and it's not a concept.
Yes. Is it existent?
It it seems to be somewhat existent because I know it because
Is there another existent?
No.
Is it at this point the staying with becomes irrelevant because the only existent is found to be this? Huh? Where are we? Is there another existent?
There isn't. Just when concepts come, it seems to be sometimes when thoughts arise or something's believed in.
So the fight, this is what the fight is.
It is,
This is what the game is.
Yeah.
You see, whether you call it a Leela, which is basically like a play, a game. Leela doesn't have a direct definition into English, but basically like a game play sort of combination, a simulation, if you will. You see? So this is the Leela. In this Leela, the way to, professionally speaking, win is to stay with God and not take yourself to be separate. You see? There is not a moment in the waking state where this game is not being played. Not a moment in the waking state where this game is not being played. So we will never be able to fix that which is post this. You see, the minute you go from I am to I am something, and then say, now when I am something, then how do I fix things? Not possible. The only way to stop it is to not pick up the somethingness.
That's what I was starting to share at the beginning, was this staying with God, even if it's an effort, that these things arise on their own without having to look for them. And they
What do you mean by things?
Like what's been coming up the past weeks for me, I can share, like with the sense of specialness or pride or spiritual ego, or just even things I didn't.
Down. So let's say pride.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's just a abstraction. It's an abstraction in the sense it encapsulates some smaller elements under that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the granularity for a moment. What's under this?
Under pride?
Yeah. What makes up? Like when you say, I'm feeling very proud. It's not something I can feel like there's a pride and upside down proud.
Yeah.
Is it? So what is it?
It was a belief in like a spiritual person progressing.
Yes. So a thought.
A thought is coming.
A thought which poses as something special.
Yeah.
You see, the power of belief exercised on that particular thought.
Yes.
And then that becomes something that is part of a pool of conditioning, vasanas, tendencies. Yes. You see, and then that is what we call I became proud.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But you notice that when we go over it just like there is pride, then actually it sort of hides what that mechanics of that is. And in the mechanics of that getting hidden it can feel like I can work on it at a layer of abstraction which is not that granular.
I see.
And then, but nobody can succeed like that.
Yes.
So if I say get rid of pride,
You can't.
whoever is suffering because you have pride, let's say, and I say get rid of pride. How will you do it? You can't do it unless you look at it in a granular way and say, what makes me proud? What makes me special? And that is only a proposal from a thought. And it seems to get nurtured, and therefore becomes something that we gravitate towards. The more we believe, the more we gravitate towards it, and we may call that we're more interested in that, which amplifies that same idea.
Yeah. But I feel like it would never have been seen at that level of like trying to figure it out, like where I was trying to figure it out and get rid of it. And so when you say stay with God, it's clear to see and to see the intricacies of it.
So completely. In the pure I amness, everything, the contrasting taste of all that we've taken to be natural actually is seen more and more clearly.
Yes.
Just like if you've just been used to drinking Coca-Cola all your life, and suddenly you put on a water fast for 10 days, you can't have anything but water. Then if you have a sip of Coke, you'll just be like, wow, it'll not taste natural anymore. So in the same way, because you are now staying in your neutrality, the taste of these constrictions, the taste of these vikar, the taste of these delusions in some way becomes more apparent to us.
Yes. And they become more apparent, and ones that are even unseen come up too, but when they come,
but it is clear that this part is secondary to the first part.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say.
Because many times it can feel like, because there's more to say in that part of the report. So I just don't want to make it seem like that part, the postmortem or the try to understand the mechanics is secondary to the part of
Yes.
So although we can talk about the second part, it should not be that but that's the real crux of the matter.
I see. Yeah, that was just the main point of sharing. Actually, was the first part.
It's important for us to see, because otherwise it can become like the main unit or the background of the investigation, but the investigation we feel like could be about anger comes and fear comes, and then like this, but that is not that is the secondary, that is the things which are not so important. The important is that we are staying with
God.
So when we get, like, if some of us may remember our first satsang, I don't know how it was for everyone, but in our first satsang, maybe, or the first time we came across God's presence, we just would have been like, wow. And then it sort of becomes, we get used to it, the mind builds enough defenses and says, but this, but like that, it doesn't stay. All that is believed in. And then that awe goes away, and it just becomes like, wow. What happens when I stay with God is, I can stay quite often, but but we can't talk like that. I mean, we can talk like that, but is that true representative? You're talking about God here. You would not be talking like that if you were staying with the biggest movie star in your country. You're staying with the biggest movie star in the country. If any of you spent a day, like if you're Indian, then you just spent a day with, if you like Shah Rukh Khan, then you would not be talking like that. You'd be like, Father, who came to my house yesterday? Whoever your idol is or whatever. But we somehow lose that when we talk about God. And this is why this happens is because to the mind, that which is at the at the cusp of being visible and invisible is nothing. And that which is the greatest truth, but that which is not visible to the mind is nothing. So the difference between meeting God and seeing something fantastical in the world is that whatever you may see in the world, as fantastical as it may be, you see, the awe about it goes away as you continue, you see, seeing that. And that happens in holy places. We go to Haridwar, Rishikesh, and we go next to Ganga Ji, and we're like, wow. You see? And those people, when they first, like many people, when they first went there, they must have also been, wow. Same in Thiru with Arunachala. We may go and say, oh. But the awesomeness or the awe-inducing tendency of meeting God only gets more and more as we go deeper and deeper. It's a big difference. So if we are able to come to a point where we say, yeah, 3 years back I met God, now I'm quite used to it, God is here, but I'm just trying to sort out my something, my relationships or something like that. Oh, wait. You see, because God is not like a worldly perception that you can say, now I'm used to. Guruji says sweeter and sweeter, but never over sweet. Who is he talking about? What is he talking about? Is he talking about a spiritual experience? No, he's talking about the awesomeness, the awestruckedness that we feel as we realize more and more who lives here. Sometimes some of you, when you write to me, I'm just like, God lives here? And maybe some of you find it irritating. I was looking at Shreya. I've never said that to Shreya, but suppose Shreya says, Father, what do you like for lunch or dinner? And I say, God lives here. Shh. I'm in the kitchen. I need to cook your food. I said like that. Ah, yeah. She was sweetly saying, are you liking it? What would you like? I said, I'm be so concerned about it. Who lives here? And after the love, the awe, the incredibleness, the absurdness, what is left for us to think about or feel? I find not much room left after that. So dive into God. At the cost of everything that you hold dear. See, because there comes a point where it does seem like it is at the cost of. We seem to need to transcend that, whether we look at that as the 40 days and nights, whatever we may call it. We go through a phase where it seems like we are going to be stripped naked of everything. Like Nisargadatta Maharaj said that you can only get to this after experiencing your own death. Now don't let your mind make up like, I have to have a death experience like Bhagwan, only then. I'm not talking about that. Experience the death of everything that you hold dear. Die to that, die to yourself inwardly. Is positive for a minute?
Yeah, when you talk about what is still being held on to, what can be done when it's seen?
What can be done when it is seen?
Yeah. Also, so many times it's not seen because, you know, the dream is so, it seems so real that I don't even realize that I'm caught up in this person mode.
Okay, so that's why something which I keep repeating and I feel like will be very helpful over there, you see, is the fact that I'm tasting this dream as much as everyone else and maybe more. Because for me, I'm tasting every moment of what this dream brings and it is enjoyed. There's no problem. With the dream itself per se, there is no problem. Is that the hypnosis that I'm talking about? Otherwise, the first thing we would do is take you like, come here, go into sensory deprivation chambers. None of you can see anything at all, hear anything at all. There's no problem with that.
So you're saying enjoy the dream?
Enjoy the dream, but don't think about it.
Yeah, but
So don't think about enjoying the dream. Just enjoy the dream.
I
Don't
enjoy
think
the
about
dream.
what. Don't think about what I should do. Should I enjoy the dream? Should I not enjoy the? You're enjoying the dream. What do you have to do to enjoy the dream?
Enjoy the dream.
Not trouble yourself. That's the only way to enjoy the dream.
Yeah, but being in Satsang, there is also this this knowing that, you know, it's a dream, and a desire to be more aware and to be more present. So yeah, you started the Satsang talking about what is still
being held on to.
Yes. So is there something to be done every time this is seen?
Yes. So let's break that down further. So something has to have been held on to. You know? When I'm saying that, am I talking about something is being held on to with attention?
And belief.
Belief.
Yeah.
The belief. There is a room that we've made specially for ourselves, which we hide from God. This I have to handle. These are my own terms. I have to live like this about this, whether it's relationship, money, whatever it may be. To hand it all over is to lose control over all of that. So it can seem like it's a sacrifice only when we are not awestruck by who's here. We are awestruck by who's here. If Krishna showed up as a body in this room right now and said to everyone, who wants to give up everything they have? All of us would jump at it. No? Please take it easy, because I see you. But you've been pointed to that which is beyond perception. And we're scared to hand it all over to that. What would you no longer do if God was real?
Worry.
Exactly. What would you no longer do if God was real? Worry. You would never worry because God is real. Okay? Then be guilty, have regret, have pride. Who are we to have pride? God is here. That's why I'm saying that we still live under a pretense as if God is not real. The existent being, the only existent being is not real. We would not problem solve, no? Would we sit and solve problems? If God was real. So this is the fundamental question then. Is God real? Or is it just a mechanism that we are trying to use in satsang to make ourselves feel better? Or is God just like a force of nature like gravity or electricity? Little bit you can do, but the rest I have to do. Because if I say I have a problem with my partner, gravity is not going to fix it for me. Electricity is not going to fix it for me. So is God like that? Like a specific physical force? No. It is everything. All intelligent, all pervasive, all doing. So if this God is real, then what is left for us to do? How would we live? How would we live? Want to continue?
I know that God is here, and I also know that I'm not awestruck by it like you are yet. That it's been a continuous cleaning, seems to be a continuous like falling away and effort too. But I can say that it's becoming more clear and beautiful that everything that you and Guruji say is literal, that everything is resolved there, that nothing needs to be resolved in the mind. And that
put all of this on a rocket launcher. Put all of this on a rocket launcher. I'll tell you the way. I'll tell you the way. Is to make none of this about you and make it all about God. Otherwise, what can happen is the protagonist can continue to be the me, and then it can still be about my relationship with God. See? And then the words of satsang, like I've been saying, I'm so awestruck, and we become deeper and deeper and sweeter into this, then that can be heard as if like for me to then progress into that level. See? But I'm saying that sacrifice this me at the feet of God and let everything be about God now.
Okay.
Not about what is my relationship now with God.
Thank you.
Because spirituality, to be in spirituality, it cannot be about me. It has to be about spirit. It has to be about God. Good or bad? What's the message?
There isn't one.
Huh?
There doesn't seem to be one.
There's no message.
I don't think so.
Empty tears.
It's just when I think that I start to understand, you chop it, and I'm so glad. But then it brings the tears, you know. But I'm glad that you spot it, because I don't.
Yes, and I have to also chop because it's my doing, in the sense that when I say I'm so awestruck by God, we can take on the notion that, oh, I have to now be more awestruck by God. So I have to then help you turn that around and say, I am more and more, whatever is left of me is more and more awestruck by God, because God is central here. The mind can use everything that it hears in satsang also. Therefore, then I have to put God at the center. So look at it more like a symphony and not a butchering class. And the symphony in that sense is that there are a set of initial notes which we first hear, and then there's a deeper set of notes that build on to what you heard initially.
It does. I can't say one thing. It does get sweeter and sweeter, and the chopping is more welcomed here than before.
Although for today's interaction, I feel like chopping is too strong a word. We should have some words in the middle. No?
Yeah.
Like scraping. Sculpting. And sculpting. Yeah? Erasing, deconstructing, whatever. What if?
I welcome it.
He's just like, he's chopping my notion of chopping also, doesn't he? Anything unchopped. Those hands I see, I can't see anything without my glasses. Okay, I'll take some of the things that I'm reading on chat for a moment, and then we'll go to the hands. There's a variant of the spiritual seeker, which is like the child in the back seat of the car waiting for the destination or the holiday spot where the parents are driving it to. And that variant of the spiritual seeker seems quite acceptable, seems quite natural. See, but actually, that one gets in the way more than anything else. That one gets in the way more than anything else. Because that one, like the child sitting at the back of the car, believes it is entitled to getting to God. And if God is not revealing Himself, then God is to blame. Or I am to blame, which is the seeker itself takes that idea of unworthiness. Something is wrong if God is not here. I should have reached it by now. That determination is not based on true knowledge. God is not making a mistake. God is not making a mistake. So that determination that I should have got it by now. So either God is being unfair to me or I am being unworthy as a seeker. Both of those should be thrown away. If you have faith, then where is the room for either of those? If you have faith, then where is the room for either of those? And does faith come with a time limit, with an expiration date? Some may say, I've been at this for 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. I started seeking when I was 20 and now I'm 80 years old. 60 years I've seeked God, but I have not found God. So unfair. Either so unfair or I must be doing something wrong. That is not faith. How do we know 50 years is a lot? Maybe it needs 50 lifetimes. Maybe it needs 1,000. How do we know? So faith and doubt cannot coexist that way. If we decide to live in faith, then we must live in faith. Of course, we can shake, but it cannot live in a constant state of doubt. Then that is an absolute lack of faith. And without faith, how are we even calling ourselves a seeker? If our faith is so weak that we can't even trust God to know the timing of things, like when God has to reveal Himself to us, we can't even trust God in that. What faith are we talking about? Because we know better. He should have been here by now. I have been honest, I have been doing self-inquiry, I have done the invitation, I have done everything. Where is God? Is that faith in God? That is still putting ego first. So we must let go of the childish things. Let go of all this childishness that we take to be spirituality or the true way to find God or seek God. Because it's nothing, it's just ripples on the surface. They don't matter at all to anything. Our ideas about what our position is, where we are, what should have happened by now, what is right, what is wrong, they're irrelevant. Nobody cares and you should not care. The reality is the only thing that you should care about. Can anyone say that I have been empty for so long? I have been empty for so long and yet God has not come. It's not possible. No? So either you can have that complaint or you are empty. But we want to be empty with guarantee. Actually, I've left a little bit of a checker there. You see, because what if my guru is fooling me or God is fooling me? I will look after my best interest, no, ultimately. And then from there we make the report. See, I've been actually very, very authentic in my seeking. I've been so empty for so long. Still, God has not come. Don't fall for these tricks of the mind. The lane is too narrow to fit the slightest idea of you and God together in that lane. And if you keep going like this, thinking that I will one day, you see, through all of this, come to God, it is just not going to happen. To be empty is to set the dinner table for God to come. And whether God comes or not is up to God. Nothing makes us entitled or worthy enough for God. The mind will hate hearing this. Your mind will hate hearing this. But the fact of the matter is that even if God never came, your life is still better when you're empty conceptually than when you're thinking. So you're not making a single sacrifice. Don't ever believe that you're sacrificing anything for God. Because it's only when you deepen in that which is even better for you, that is the only fertile ground for God. So don't say, but I gave up on everything. I became an inner sadhu and God never came. But aren't you better off just because you became an inner sadhu? You're not attached to the nonsensical things which are going to die anyway. And you're not moping over rubbish. Isn't that a better way to live even if God never came? So there is nothing that makes us worthy or entitled. We can only pray, we can only have faith, prepare the fertile ground for God to come. But it is not as if this preparation is worse than what our life would have been otherwise. It's such a beautiful life to be without selfishness, without pride. So fundamentally, it all boils down to this question: is God real or no? How would we live if God is real? Because even all of us who are so spiritual sounding and religious and all of that, very few of us are living as if God is real. Who is living as if God is real? You see? So we actually treat God just to be a conceptual placebo, a balm that we use to apply on our pains and our sufferings. You don't take it to be a reality. You don't trust your insight enough. You don't have faith in that which is invisible to you because you value still that which is visible to you. How would we live if God was real? Let me ask my brothers have come first time I see something like this. How would you live if God was real? Fearlessly, without worry, without controlling. And are we finding that God is real or no? Are we finding really that God is real? Are we just coming thrice a week and lip service and then go back in our old ways? Louder?
It does seem like a process, an unveiling process. Like it's not just an immediate like Eckhart Tolle or Guruji or like you sitting in front of Guruji. It feels like there is this effort.
Is God real?
Yes. Yes.
What is missing in that God? Huh? What is missing?
Nothing.
Huh? Is it all-knowing, all-pervasive, all-intelligent, all-being?
Yes. Then it's an
Are you just saying
understanding.
that?
No, it's what.
If it is all of those
Yeah.
things, then what is left for you to discover? I'm not saying there isn't anything, because it will get sweeter and sweeter and deeper. But now you say that it is a process, you see, which it is, but also it is not. So it is basically a lack of faith, without trying to sound harsh. You see, a lack of faith in your own insight. You see, because if you're new to satsang, you may say, all this sounds very conceptual to me. I haven't met God. You see, but most of you, when I ask you, have you met God, you nod vigorously, no? So if you met God, then have faith that that is the one that is driving this car, that is driving this universe.
Yes.
After meeting God, to still take power into a non-existent one is ignorance. Is just perpetuating the maya, is perpetuating the identity, is perpetuating the ego.
That feels where the effort comes in. That feels where the vigilance and effort comes in.
Just everything you got. If you have effort, do it. If you have vigilance, do it. Everything
That's
at your
right.
disposal, you give it for God. Nothing for me, all for God.
Father, can you clarify one thing? When you say leave the table set for God, whether or not he comes, I love that pointer, but then in the same breath you say God is here now.
Yes.
And
Deal with
God
it.
is beingness and
Deal with
presence.
it. It's true. Because I don't see how you can be empty and God is not. And yet, I remember there was a time where I felt that, so I can't say it can't happen. You see? And I don't want it to become an expectation. Oh, I am so empty. Where's God? I was promised God. You know, I am open to Him. So I know we have a tendency to do that. So it's better we treat ourselves like servants, cooking the dinner for God every moment. And it's up to God whether God comes. Can I deny that God is not here already? I cannot. So both are true. Okay. Let me ask you, is God here?
Yes. Yes.
Is God here because you were empty or because you were full?
Empty.
So you set the table and God came. Now what happened? You set the table, you say God is here. Can God come when there's a me?
No, it's impossible.
Have me and God ever hung out together?
Not really.
We can't hang out together. The me is the hypnosis, the avidya, the ignorance. When we fall into the ignorance, then the reality of God is always obscured from us. This is not possible. You see? So when you say that God is here, then it has to be because you were empty. So you set the table, God came. Now, so then the previous thing is not important. Or it is important to the sense that we should be very grateful that I set the table and God came. Is there doubt that God came?
There must be, because there isn't that gratitude or awestruckness.
No, don't infer based on anything.
Okay.
Look directly and tell me, do you have a doubt that the presence that you experience is God's presence?
I do not know.
Then don't fall for any tricks from the mind. Can you experience the presence when you're full of yourself?
Never.
When you're full of me, what should I do? Where am I going? How can I win? Why don't I get this and I don't get that? Can we live in presence that way?
Cannot.
So we have to be empty of ego, dead to ourselves. You see, and it may seem like it's a constant process of continuously dying to ourselves. You see, and that is what effort would mean. You see, because it's just like you chopped off the head. You see, you chopped off the head. And then something, you see your ex-partner on the road or something like that, like that. So the head comes back. You see, then you come to satsang, head is chopped off again. You see, maybe that is what effort is. You see, but it is not possible that you got your head on and God's presence is apparent unless you're just visualizing or imagining some nonsense to be God. You see? But it is just not possible because the lane is too narrow. The sages were not lying when they said that there is no room for me and God together. And I can confirm that clearly, that only in emptiness is God's light palpable. You say that I don't doubt that this is God. Then what are we waiting for? What still needs to happen? You set the table. God was gracious. God came. Now, your point was, but why am I not grateful? So be grateful.
It's growing.
Yeah. Why am I not awestruck by it? Be awestruck by it. That is what I'm prodding. Because why? How can it be that God's presence is felt and we are not awestruck? Because there is a blind spot that may be obscuring our vision, just like a speck of dust. And the reminder to be awestruck is the gust of wind you need to blow that dust away. Ask yourself, how is it either God is not real, I am not finding the true God, or where is my awe? Where is my wonder?
Sometimes it comes, though. It does come, but it's not constant, It's not like it continues.
Now, how is it? You can put on some more light there at the back. Who is in your heart? There is an existent being pulsating in your heart, and you recognize that that being is limitless. What kind of absurdity are we talking? Is it? If somebody came and said to you that, there is uh, like a Atma sitting in my heart, before you were in Satsang, you're like, what? There's a presence in your heart. You see, first, suppose you didn't say Atma, you just said there's a presence inside me. You see, then everybody should get worried and say, okay, now let's find out what presence that is. Is that Casper the Friendly Ghost? Is it, whose presence is that? All of you are saying it's God's presence. So God lives in your heart. Which God is it? Is it a minor lord of one of the islands, or is it the God? Which God is it? Is it limitless, or does it have a boundary? Huh? Is it like Thor, God of thunder? No. What God is it? Are we just making up stuff? Or actually God is here? And if the God is here in your heart, what are we doing? What are we talking about? So, if you feel that you have not found this God, then you drop everything internally. Don't have to quit your jobs, don't have to leave your family. None of that outwardly has to be done, but inwardly dedicate your life to this discovery, because this is the only eternal truth. Everything else is Maya, it has duration, it is going to die fully. And those who are finding this, who have found this, don't even think about going to the me. Because that's even worse than not having found it at all. That's all the medicine that is needed. What is the antidote? I'm not feeling that love, I'm not feeling that awesomeness of God's presence. Leave everything. Empty. The world and its things will continue. This body's movements will continue. If work has to happen, it'll continue. If relationships have to unfold, they'll continue. But you be with God inwardly. Must be very warm at the back. Maybe make it really cool. I have a simple question. If something is wrong, can God be the reason for it? Or something is quite wrong because there's too much God? See? So if something is ever wrong or feels wrong, or we are thinking it is wrong, it is because of too much me. That is the only antidote. You see, it can never be because there's too much God. Too much me is the answer to the reason for why I have afflictions. Okay, let's see what questions we have. Sarunas.
Hello.
Hello, my dear. Is God real or no?
Of course.
But?
No, but
No, but?
no.
No, but?
Your words is like ninja's words.
Sometimes it come like that. Mostly it's quite. I like to feel. You know?
It's just
Are you living in the faith that God is real? And we'll talk about the difference between faith and belief in a moment. I feel you already know, so I won't spend time on that. Are you living in the faith that God is here, that God is real?
I don't need the faith.
Again, my dear, it wasn't very audible.
I can see I don't need the faith. Faith.
You don't even need faith. It is just apparent. It is just apparent. To trust the apparency of your insight is what I mean by faith. I know mostly in the world it is a question of conviction or belief, but that's not how I usually use the term. Okay, so now if it is apparent that God is here, what else can be said?
It just seems that in some energy is coming up, and
But Krishna is sitting next to you. Is it real or no? More intimate than next to you, more intimate than close to you. It's Krishna, Ram, Jesus, Allah, God, whatever name you want to use is right here. Is this lip service? Is this just friendly reminders, just words? Or is this your living reality now? And if it is your living reality, what are we going to do about the energy thing? You see, God is here. And then if you look at everything that appears in the light of consciousness as energy, of course, so much energy. So whose problem is it? Who's getting affected by it, and what are we solving?
imaginary problems.
Yes. You know, the only way to suffer is to try and solve non-existent problems. The only way to suffer.
Just to understand,
So that is what I was saying in the beginning of Satsang, that What is the Leela? What is Maya? Just the use of the power of pretense. The use of the power of pretense. The consciousness has the power of pretense to pretend as if it is individual and not consciousness itself. And only under the spell of the pretense can we play this game of problem solving. Do you know that the energy is good or bad?
I don't know. I can't say.
What would be the best thing that ever happened to you, but you came to satsang and said, Father, please help me with these energies, and they go away? Is there an ability that we have that helps us to determine whether what is happening to us apparently is good for us or bad for us? Is there a true ability?
Maybe that's what I'm trying to do all the time.
Using what instrument? Using what instrument can we determine what is good for us and what is bad for us?
Mind.
Yes, we constantly use the mind to determine that. You see? And yet, most of us realize by now that it is the most useless instrument because it cannot even interpret one moment. You see, the same mind that can say, later it'll say it was a very good satsang or a very bad satsang, very boring or very cool, whatever you want to say, has no idea what this one moment is. So I want to stop you now because later you'll make that judgment. What is this one moment? Tell me, what is this? Can you determine the goodness of it or badness of it? What is happening here? What is happening? What capacity do we have to capture all of this and to interpret it? So not one moment we can do, but we are very quick to judge so many things. We judge the story of our lives, how God is unkind to us, all kinds of things we judge. But one moment we don't know about. So the mind is not the useful instrument on the basis of which we can determine the goodness or badness of something. But you do have an instrument. You do have your heart, your intuitive insight. Follow that. Remain in the no mind, remain in the unborn, remain open and empty. And the guidance is there. Allow it to unfold. And the guidance will also have an inner satsang with you. Follow that inner satsang. Before, doesn't necessarily have to be before, but mostly before you share satsang outside, are you following your inner satsang? So allow God's light to unfold naturally in your life, and as God's guidance through the Holy Spirit, through the Atma, through the Sadguru presence becomes apparent to you, learn to follow that also fully, because that is the only determinant of right and wrong and good or bad that we have. So I want to tell all of you that it is so strongly in my heart to push you all for this, because most of you live as if God is utterly fake. In spite of being in spirituality, most of us live as if God is utterly fake, has no existence, whereas it is the only existent. The existent, the presence that you experience is never individual. It is only always God's light. And also avoid the temptation, even after having beautiful insights, to make everything about me. Me. I had such a beautiful satsang that day. God's presence was clear. That which is aware, the pure Sakshi, Nirguna Brahman is apparent to me. But you know, after that, after 1 hour, this happened to me. Where did me come from? You never found this me. You see, so the mind will tempt you more and more as you are coming to insight as well. Don't think the mind will just shut up and sit down. Oh, now I'm meeting God now. No, it will tempt you more. What about this? What about that? It'll try to bring you back to the disingenuous, the fake life that we call my life. This life is God's. Only God exists. And to call yourself spiritual, you must first admit that, isn't it? You see, it's a very popular cliche thing, no? What is that thing? We are not, what is it? We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay, start with that. Who is that spiritual being? There is only one. This is Advaita. Who is that spiritual being? Is that separate from God? So if you fall back into a mode that all this is fine, but ultimately I'm human. Like this child once told me many years back. I'm still carrying scars from that. So all this is fine, but ultimately she didn't use those words. But over the years, I've heard many variations of this. This is all right. See, but just level with me. At the end of the day, are we human? Is it? What have you been saying? What have we been saying all this time? When we are negating even that cliche, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. Yes, spiritual beings having a human experience. We have to at least go beyond that. So at the end of the day, when I level with all of you, suppose we are not in satsang, we are in a chai shop, and you say, it's just two of us, nobody is listening, broadcast is not on. What is it? See, at the end of the day, we are human after all. Of course not. All these humans, all this plays like the characters in a dream, like the stories of the Yoga Vasisht. So don't allow your mind to tempt you back into limitation, to leave the life of spirit, to leave the life of your presence, because it trips you up with a simple idea like that. You're not discovering that you were born and you will die. You're discovering eternal life. Tell me what problem does the Eternal One have? Or tell me that I haven't found it. Fair enough? Go ahead. Either tell me what problem the existent one has. Okay, let's not say eternal one. The one that is actually existent, what problem does that one have? Because I don't want to hear the problems of a non-existent one. Is that a fair enough thing or no? Otherwise, tell me about what's happening to this cat. If you just want to tell me about a non-existent one, tell me about this cat. It's as good as that. No? So that existent presence, what's happened to that? Is that a person? Is that limited? Is there that and one more? Are there two presences? The presence of God and little old me. Is it? What is the number one cause of loss of innocence for all of you online and in this room? Is it? Number one cause of loss of innocence. It is your spiritual concepts. Be empty of everything you think you know about God and be with God. Be one with God. Be empty of everything that you think should happen. And just be. Good?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, let's go to Shivoham. So your ban from attending satsang is gone now?
Huh?
You don't have a curfew against attending satsang?
Sorry,
I was joking with you. I was asking if there's a ban, if you're banned from attending satsang.
yeah, I was.
You were. Good, good. So you're no longer banned?
No, I'm just hiding in a room.
Sneaking in.
Yeah.
Good to see you, my dear.
Yeah. So good to see you.
I heard that you went and then your brother's gone away for many months somewhere.
Yeah, it's going away for 2 months to
2 months.
work in
You
Rome.
should just call him and say, I'm going to come and get you back after a month. It's not good for you to be away so long. But nobody will do that because it's work. See? So work is worship, But worship is not worship. You see, just proves that point.
Yeah, I just want to say hello and
Hello. Jyotima has some work for you to do. From Italy, you can send some pasta.
Can we do it online? Yeah, because
Oh, no, no, no. We won't tell him that. No, no.
what?
No, no. No, no, no. He said, you said. No, he's allowed to say. That's just humility. There's some news, some rumor that somebody's making better pasta than you.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
You need to come and resolve this. You need to do a Master Chef battle soon. Are you living as if God is real or fake?
It's real.
Very good. But you still have to hide in a room.
It's not true. It's not true that I need to
No,
have.
no,
But
don't worry.
yeah, somehow I couldn't attend very much in the last few weeks. I don't know. Life was
Yeah.
like I don't know, many things
Yes, I can
happened.
understand.
Yeah, but
Actually, there is no as if. Although I may pose a question as if God is real or fake. In reality, there is no as if. You don't have to take God to be real.
yeah.
You live in the recognition of God's reality when you are empty of yourself. When you are empty of your false self, you live in the reality of God. It's not a taking, like not a belief system. So for the false, we have to take. For the false, we have to believe. For the truth, nothing has to be done. The not doing can seem like difficult or effortful, and it is worthwhile to put in that effort if it is feeling that way. But it's not a construction, it's not something that you're grabbing or attaining. How many of us are juggling me and God? As in the me and God. Yes? Stop it. Stop. Yes? Huh?
Yeah, Father, when it's happening, because sometimes this juggling somehow it seems to, but yeah, the to say God of or this God or when some struggle or some
It's God or mine.
God. So to choose has become something. Not to choose, I don't know if it's the right word, but yeah, to question if what do I want right now? It's God or relationship, or so has been very much present as.
Okay, let me help you with this one. No? Let me help you with this. If it is at the same level like God or relationship,
No,
then leave both of them.
Yeah.
To be empty of that is what I'm saying, is to be with God.
Mm.
I'm not asking you to pick in that way. I want only this, I want. Because that's also mine.
Yeah.
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 Both of that is God. You see? So that's why I'm saying it is God or mind. It's not God from mind,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
conceptual idea of God from mind. You see, I don't want you to become like ra ra ra, I am all for God, like that. You see, just conceptually. But I want you to become empty of the false self. Die onto yourself. And nothing in the world can get in the way of that. Nothing in the world can prevent you from dying for yourself. No? You see? Can something in front of you prevent you from dying to yourself? No. You see, what is the way to die to yourself? The mind makes an offer, says, oh, this is better for you. But you're dead to yourself. The offer comes and goes. Nothing can stop you unless you start believing that you want something or you don't want something. So I don't want you to be picking God or me as if both are mental categories. I
Yeah.
want you to pick the absence of mind, the absence of me is the presence of God.
You say to stay in the presence of God, and
The only way to stay in the presence of God is in the absence of me.
Mhm.
So let's look at one more thing. Are there some moments where me can handle things better than God?
No.
There must be, no? Come on. Some moments must be there where you say, I can do this better. Is this voice sounding familiar?
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is the temptation from the mind. For this you need me. You see? It's silly. It's like saying, for this Superman won't do, you need Clark Kent. It's a strange absurdity which the mind says, no, no, this is no time for God. Those probably are the best times for God. See, God won't send that report you need to send to your boss. Have you tried? Sadguru presence can't achieve it. Your mind can. Intuitive light can't do it. God's light can't do it. But your measly bundle of thoughts can do it. Don't fall for these tricks. Anyway, it is good only if it comes from God. That is the only determinant. But come on, there must be something you can do better. Nothing. Work, accounting, painting, programming, project management, cooking.
Mm.
Cooking, who does better? God or me? I'll tell you. This on the box you write. Who made it? I'll tell you then. Who did better? We may not realize it, but that is doubt. That is lack of faith. The lack of faith is where we feel like this I have to do as ego. Me. I am right about this. I know better. And all our satsang tantrums are like that. God should have been here by now. I know better when God should have come. Don't know anything. We don't know anything. We don't even know that. Okay. Very good. Very good. So if you're juggling God and me, drop both. That is God. That God is that which remains when you dropped every other thing. That you can no longer drop.
Yeah, because what I was saying is that let's say emptiness or the complaint, or so to choose. It
Yes.
wasn't.
So drop
It
both.
was a concept somehow. No, it's not about the choosing.
Drop both.
Drop. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Clarissa.
Hello, Ananda-ji. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, good. Can I leave everything at your feet?
Can you? I should actually ask you. Can you?
Yeah.
Yes. Then you must. Find any feet that you can leave anything, everything to, and leave everything. The point is in the leaving of it, not the feet so much. As you have left everything, the doors are open for God. Why would you want to leave everything?
Because sometimes the ego is coming so strong and there's the feeling of arrogance and pride.
Yes. So you want that to go away?
To see it from the true place.
Okay, so leave that also. To see it from the true place also you have to leave. Every idea that we have, every outcome that we think we know better about, everything that we think we should have, that should happen in our life, all of it. So when we say leave everything, it is literally everything. There must be nothing to you left. It must be a very sacred moment in which you have handed over everything. And only a sheer zero remains. Not even zero, just a sheer zero. Not a checking saying, now what? Is this working? No, it's none of your business anymore. To be empty is the simplest and the most difficult. If you're leaving everything to me so that something can happen for me, which is for you, then that me also has to be given up. The best case scenario and the worst case scenario after surrendering also must be surrendered. Let's go to Beatrice.
Thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste.
And I also surrender everything.
Can you?
Or can I also surrender everything?
Yes, but can you?
I don't know.
Then you have to tell me.
But I don't. I feel that I don't know how to do it. Or
Then why do you want to do it?
huh?
Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to surrender everything? Something better will happen. Once I
This
surrender,
I don't know.
something better should happen, no? I don't feel like anybody would surrender everything if you thought that something worse will happen.
Sure.
I'm going to surrender everything so that something worse can happen.
But Father, is if I surrender everything,
Yeah.
there will be nobody to happen.
That's
Something.
better for me. No one will be left over here. That's so much better for me.
How do I know that this is happening?
Huh?
This.
How do I know?
How do I know that this is happening? This I want better or something?
You will know. Only you can know that. Why do you want to surrender?
I don't know, because if I don't surrender, what I'm going to do?
If I don't surrender, what am I going to do?
See, yes.
If I don't surrender, what am I going to do? That's a very good Zen koan. Brought me to the no mind state.
Dios mío.
See, I don't know. I have to tell you what you should do. I don't even know what I should do.
So,
So, hum. You know this?
so hum,
Yeah.
siwo hum.
So, hum. So, hum. Yeah. Most of you know this. So, hum. So, hum. So,
What is this, Father? So hum.
so, hum.
Okay, Father.
I have to go somewhere else. He's obviously not in the mood to answer. So, most of you know this, or no? See, you must find out what this is.
I feel that
Yeah,
that is nothing.
nothing.
So hum mean empty.
Not ho hum, it's so hum. Ho hum is nothing. So when your mind goes, so hum.
Okay. Why you laugh?
Why are you laughing? I wish I knew. See, to be happy, you don't need anything. Doesn't have to be a why. See, Claudia has given you the answer. So I can no longer use it. I have to find something else.
I am here. Yes.
So you were not wrong when you said that is nothing.
John?
You were not wrong when you said nothing.
I feel that I want to
After giving up everything or before? You want something after giving up everything? Or
yeah, this thing I want to give.
this thing you want to give after giving everything?
But I don't know what
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
doing.
go ahead. What is the thing? Huh?
The mind, the I, all this, the illusion.
I want to give up I.
Yeah,
I do?
it's the I who want to give. No? Yeah.
How do you solve a non-existent
See how it goes, how it vanishes.
to see how it vanishes? Who was there? Like that is the problem of the spiritual seeker. Waiting for the vanishing of the non-existent problem. When will it go? How can I help you the most right now? What is the help you want the most? Okay, let me then ask, God is real?
Yes. Of course. More than this me.
More, little more? Slightly like that?
No. No.
No comparison. Between the
No.
non-existent and the only existent. Between the
So,
non-existent and the only existent, they can't really be a comparison, can
yeah. Yes. Thank you, Father.
they? Thank you, my dear. Sitaram. So, hum. The audio has been good after we changed it to music mode. Am I sounding more musical today or
Yes.
sounding more musical? He said, original sound for musicians is what we are. Oh. Okay, so this music has showed up for me now, and it reminds me to wish all of you a very happy Eid, Eid Mubarak to all of you, and may God, may Allah's blessings be always upon you, upon all of us, and God bless you all so much. Beautiful reminders just came to me. I'm looking for a Hanuman Chalisa, which we played in the beginning, but this is what showed up now. Is it a good one to play? Just let it load. On the phone, I could have.
خدا ہے کسی پر آیا جب نہ تھا حق بھی کسی پر آیا جب نہ تھا تب نہ تھا کچھ یہاں تب نہ تھا کچھ یہاں تھا مگر تو ہی تو اللہ خدا بندے لا یزال ہے تو یہی مثال ہے تیری کہ بے مثال ہے تو تیرا کمال ہی دنیا کے ہر کمال میں ہے یہ شان تیری کہ ہر شان میں کمال ہے تو اللہ اللہ پہنچے معراج میں عرش تک مصطفیٰ پہنچے معراج میں عرش تک مصطفیٰ جب نہ معبود بندے میں پردہ رہا جب نہ معبود بندے میں پردہ رہا تب ملائک نے حضرت سے جھک کر کہا تب ملائک نے حضرت سے جھک کر کہا ساری مخلوق میں حق نما تو ہی تو اللہ کیوں کیا ابن حیدر نے جام فنا کیا ابن حیدر نے جام فنا حال کھچوائی تبریز میں کیوں بھلا پر چڑھ کے منصور نے کیا کہا پر چڑھ کے منصور نے کیا کہا سب بنا کہ کھلوں نے سب بنا کہ کھلوں نے رہا تو ہی تو اللہ 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 کونین کا مسجود ہے معبود ہے تو ہر شے تیری شاہد ہے کہ مشہود ہے تو، ہر ایک کے لب پر ہے تیری حمد و ثنا، ہر سوز میں ہر ساز میں موجود ہے تو۔ اللہ 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 خالق کل ہے اس میں کیا گفتگو، خالق کل ہے اس میں کیا گفتگو، سارے عالم کو ہے تیری جستجو، سارے عالم کو ہے تیری جستجو، تیری جلوہ گری ہے آیا چار سو، تیری جلوہ گری ہے آیا چار سو، لا شریک لہ لا شریک لہ مالک ملک تو۔ اللہ 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 گلشن مقصود ہے تو، پتا پتا یہی کہتا ہے کہ معبود ہے تو، تیرے ہی فضل و کرم پر ہے میرا دار و مدار، میرا خالق میرا مالک میرا معبود ہے تو۔ اللہ 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 سب کے سر جھکتے ہیں تیری ہی طرف وقت نماز، سارے سجدوں کا یہ کہنا ہے کہ مسجود ہے تو، جب اٹھا پردہ غفلت تو نظر یہ آیا ہر جگہ اور ہر انسان میں موجود ہے تو۔ اللہ 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 تیری شان یا وحدہ، لا الہ 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 تیری شان شان شان، لا الہ تیری شان شان شان، لا الہ تیری شان تیری جان تیری شان، تیری شان شان شان، لا الہ आँख की रोशनी दिल की आवाज तू, आँख की रोशनी दिल की आवाज तू, था भी तू है भी तू, था भी तू है भी तू, होगा भी तू ही तू। अल्लाह 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 अल्लाह
सद्गुरु श्री मोजी बाबा की
जय। सद्गुरु श्री अनंत जी की जय।
गुरु कृपा केवल।